If you're thinking about moving to Crestview, you are in the right place. I'm going to do a deep dive on the entire city today, and hopefully by the end of the video, you might not know exactly where you want to live, but hopefully you'll figure out a bunch of areas that you don't want to live. Hey, this is Frank Kritzman, and if you're curious about what it is to live, work, eat, sleep, play, and be way too hot here in Crestview, then you are in the right place. I'm going to teach you everything there is to know about that city. So if you want more information like that and you want the pros and especially the cons, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We get texts, calls, and emails all the time from people who are relocating here to the city. So if you're thinking about moving here, make sure you give us a call or a text or an email or anything like that. Nights, weekends, don't matter. We got your back if you're thinking about moving here to Crestview. All right, let's jump right into it. All right, we got the whole city of Crestview here, and I'm just going to zoom out a little bit and kind of show you guys the major areas that people like to travel to. So this right here is Duke Field. This is where a lot of people are going to be commuting to. And then down here you have Eglin Air Force Base. Again, another big hub for civilian contractors and a lot of military who are going to be traveling in and out of Crestview. This right here, this is 85. This is the main road into the city that is going to be where most of those commuters are coming through. Over here you have I-10 headed to the east. That's how you're going to get over to Panama City Beach. And over to the west, that's how you're going to get over to Pensacola. And if you just stay up on 85 North, you'll be up in Alabama in no time, so don't go too far. All right, we're going to start on the south side of town here, which is really considered anything south of this I-10 right here. And so if somebody says South Crestview, that's what they're talking about, pretty much anything below I-10. So we're going to get going right in this little neighborhood right here, which I really like. It's called Juniper Creek. I'm going to jump down onto the street view, and we're going to take a little walk down this neighborhood, okay? In my opinion, one of the nicer neighborhoods here in town. So this is a pretty good one on the south side. Most of these houses are built by Randy Weiss. Really cool little area. It's not very big. It's maybe only got about 60 homes in this community, but it is pretty nice compared to the surrounding areas. All right, we're going to jump back out over here. Down Antioch, this is a pretty popular road right here. Antioch is going to be a pretty popular road for commuting. If you take a look at it right here, this is the lowest kick out onto 85, okay? So a lot of commuters are going to be coming down, and this is PJ Adams right here, this street, and it is always under construction. It's been under construction the entire time I've lived here since 2018, and so that road is always under construction, and if it's backed up in the mornings or the afternoons, what you'll do is you have a lot of people kicking out onto Antioch right here and cutting down and getting onto 85. If you look in this whole area right here in the center of my screen, this kind of whole area, all the houses were built right about the same time, so you're going to have a lot of similarities in these houses. So if you notice, we're going to jump right over here, okay? We're going to have lots of one-story brick houses, so if that's your thing, you are definitely in the right spot. Coming back up Antioch, again, this is PJ, this is that main road. You hear people talk about PJ, that's what we're talking about, is PJ Adams Parkway right here. This little neighborhood, this is actually the neighborhood that I live in. This is, not that, that's construction. See, I told you, it's always under construction. This little neighborhood right here is Rolling Ridge. It's a very nice little community. There's about 100 homes in this community as well, so it's not that big, but it's a very quiet and nice place to live. There's a good look at the houses if you want to take a look. Very quiet, friendly people, and again, this is going to be one of those slightly more desirable south side communities, so definitely a good spot to go. This section right here, this section is a little bit more congested. These houses were all built around 2005 to 2008 in that range right here. We'll take a quick jump down one of these streets so you can get a good idea. These houses are a little bit older, but still decent if this is the kind of house that you're into. So this little neighborhood right here, this is Alicia Place and Shadow Pines. It's another one of those kind of slightly newer compared to the areas around it. Nice little new community. You have a lot of people walking their kids and stuff like that in the evening, so it's a pretty friendly place, nice area to live. I know some people who live over there and they really like it. You could say this section is, again, a little bit more of one of the more desirable areas on the south side, so we're going to jump right in there. You can see the houses on this area are pretty nice. Definitely a good little spot. All right, and then we're gonna come up and check out this neighborhood right here. This is, I know it's technically north of I-10, it is just barely north of I-10, but we really still consider this one on the south side because it is so close, and you can kick right out on Antioch and then onto PJ and be right down on your way onto 85. This one is Fox Valley. So we're gonna jump down here. Where are we? Here we go. This is Fox Valley, very cool neighborhood. There's a lot of different little housing areas in this spot. They have a playground in the center of this roundabout right here. Very cool, nice neighborhood. Again, very like family oriented. They do a lot of activities during Christmas time and stuff like that in the center field. And they'll have like a big movie screen out there so they can have all the kids come and watch movies and stuff like that. Because here in Florida, even if it's Christmas, it's still hot out, so we can still hang out outside. All right, still on the south side of Crestview. Now we're gonna move over to the southeast corner. We pretty much hit all the hot spots in the southwest corner. Now we're gonna check out the southeast corner. This section right here is one of my favorites, and it is right off of this is right off at 85 right here, so it's very quick to get in and out of the city. And I'm going to take you down, and we're going to check out some of these houses in here. All right, we are on Hermosa Road right now, and you can take a look at the houses. This is a pretty common style of house here in Florida, and especially in this area of Crestview. You're going to get a lot of one-story brick houses like this. So this is the majority of what you're going to find here. But this is a cool little area. And then if you are able to find a house over here, they're very rarely come up for sale. But if you can get a house right here, some of these are very nice as well. I've done some showings over on these streets. Very nice interiors. And I like the way these are built a lot. If it was available, definitely a spot that I would go check out. Is a very few spots in town where you can find even 3-car garages like this at all. So that in itself is pretty rare, but that corner, pretty solid. All right, now we're going to check out this neighborhood called Shannon Estates. And this is, you could say, it's one of the more higher end areas in town. So this is actually one of the only gated communities as well. We can't even take the Google Street View in there because it's a gated community, but we can kind of look over the fence. They got some really nice houses in there, a lot of pools, stuff like that. So if you do get a house in there in Shannon Estates, you want to make friends with your neighbors and, find somebody that's got a pool, bring them some brownies or something so you guys can be friends and, you can have a good place to go swimming. Then you have these neighborhoods right here just above Shannon Estates. These are nice, quiet areas too, not as high end as Shannon Estates is. Shannon Estates, you're kind of looking in the probably $400,000 or $500,000 range, and this section right here, you're really looking in like the mid $300,000 range. I've sold a few houses in here. It's quiet. The people who live there love the spots, but it's just not up there like Shannon Estates is. Still a good spot to live. We're actually going to plop down right here and take a look at this house. This is actually a house where I helped somebody get when they were relocating to Crestview. They found me off of Facebook, and we got them in this place, and they love it here. And you take a little walk down the street, and you can see the houses are, again, it's a lot of that very similar style, but this road, if you take a look at the map right here, it's just a little loop, so there's really not a ton of through traffic, so it's nice and quiet. Definitely a good place to hang out. That is just about all the honorable mentions for the south side of town, so we are going to make our way up north a little bit into town. As you can see, Walmart is right here, and then there's some neighborhoods right around Walmart. If it was me, my opinion, I would just pass on that area. I would just say, this whole area right here, I would maybe just look for something else. I would keep going. But right over here, this is Redstone Ave right here. This is a pretty popular street. And this is where Publix is. And you got your Starbucks. Got the hospital right here. I know Walmart is right here. So then you come up 85, you take Redstone down. Then there's this neighborhood right here. Okay, this is Redstone Commons. This is another very cool neighborhood here in town. And we're going to take a little tour of this one. Redstone Commons is one of the only pool communities in the area, surprisingly. Even though this is Florida, there's not a ton of public pools here in Crestview. But this one is pretty awesome. Okay, so you can get over here, take a look. They got a playground, and they have the whole pool and community area and all that. we are going to drop down into another area right on Chickadee Street right here, so you can get an idea of what kind of houses they have here. Lots of really nice houses in this neighborhood, and there's quite a bit of range as to what they have for availability. They have some smaller, like 1,700 square foot houses, all the way up to, some that are almost touching 3,000. So there's a good range, and as long as you're in here in Redstone Commons, still have access to that pool and all the good stuff. And it's right here next to Riverside Elementary School and Shoal River Middle School, which is obviously awesome if you have kids. This neighborhood right here is definitely one of the more desirable neighborhoods here in the city. So back on the main road, we're continuing north up into the heart of the city, and this is like the more downtown area. I'm gonna switch it over to the satellite view real quick to try to get you an idea of what's going on here. There's lots of cool little stores and different places on the main street right here. As far as living, I don't know if I would really want to live close to Main Street. In my opinion, I would avoid it. I'd keep it like a 10-15 minute drive away. But we're gonna go check out Main Street real quick, and this is one of the reasons why people say that the city has more of like a small town feel. If you take a look, we got this cute little Main Street. It doesn't have a ton of stuff, but you got a few stores here and there and some restaurants, and this is where they do a lot of the community events as well. So your Main Street downtown area is going to be the place for some local happenings. Really, the main thing that you need to know about Main Street is right here. You need to know about this little restaurant right here. This is Casbah Coffee Company. They have awesome coffee and soups, sandwiches, baked goods, all sorts of stuff like that. This place right here is amazing. So if you do come to check out the city, you do move here, you need to make sure you check out this place. This is a necessity. So you got the Casbah right here, but as far as just living spaces, I would just skip out on this whole region. I've talked about it in a previous video before that Crestview does have a good bit of a homeless problem and a drug problem. Just like every major city is going to have, but the majority of all that is happening in this downtown Main Street area, kind of in this whole region. If you want to make sure you try to stay away from crime and stuff like that, you're just going to want to avoid that area. That's my opinion. Also, if you plan to move to Crestview and you're going to commute down to Eglin or Niceville, you definitely do not want to be this far north. You absolutely do not want to live up here at all, because it will take you so long to get home at the end of the day. It will just be insane. I'm just going to zoom out again real quick. So Eglin down here, we're talking 30 minutes to get up 85 with no traffic. And that's just to get right here at the entrance to the city. So if traffic is backed up, this could easily be an hour. Down at the south side, you can cut off at 85, and just take like 5-10 more minutes to get to your house, and you should be good. But if you live up here north of that I-10 section, 85 will also be very congested all the way through town. So if you live up here, we're talking just getting through the city could take another 15, 20, maybe even 30 minutes just to get through town. I'm telling you right now, you do not want to live up here. If you have to commute down to Eglin, you're going to thank me later, I promise. I heard about somebody recently who had somebody steer them into buying a house that was way up here on the north side, and their commute is like more than an hour home every day. It's just way too much. I guess if you're from like New York City or something like that, maybe that's not that bad, but that's just too much for me. So if you don't have to commute down to Eglin, we are going to take a quick little look at some of the other neighborhoods in here that I do like, because there are a lot of spots up on the north side that are nice, but the main problem is it takes forever to drive. So we're going to switch back over to the map view, and this section right here, this is a neighborhood that I really like. If you do not have to commute here, we're just going to plop right down into one of these neighborhoods. We got some very quiet, nice little side streets, no through traffic, just nice country quietness. This is definitely outside of the hustle and bustle if you want to be in this little section right here. This is a nice spot. Also, right up here off of Walk a Long Way. This entire neighborhood is very, very cool as well. All right, there's really just one more spot of note here that I want to mention on this video, and that is this little neighborhood right here. So this is down Possum Ridge. This area right here, this is kind of like a newer development. This is definitely a good spot if you want to be way out there and just kind of away from everybody and not have to deal with a thing. Okay, we can't even see the houses because they're not even on Google Street View yet, but probably as far north as I would go in Crestview. And this is just if you don't need to commute anywhere. This section right here, make sure you screenshot that quiet little spot up on the north side. We love helping people relocate here, and the only way we can help you out is if you give us a call, text, or an email. So make sure you send us something. Could be day, night, weekend, doesn't matter. We have your back when it comes to relocating here. So until next time, I'll see you on the next one.